If your wife has little to no interest in sex, it can leave you feeling rejected, disconnected, and maybe even hopeless, wondering what you could possibly do to change things. Maybe you used to plan the date nights, put in more effort, try to be romantic, but when nothing really changed, you either kept trying to bring it up or you eventually checked out. It is so painful, and honestly, it makes so much sense that we end up in these places because nobody ever taught men or women how desire and intimacy actually work. I am Lindsay. This is Loving with Intention. Let's dive in so I can show you the missing piece that most men or women are never taught. Because without this piece, no amount of intention, effort, or romance is going to bring the intimacy back. And when I say we were never taught this stuff, I mean it. When I think back to school, I remember learning what sex was and how to prevent pregnancy and STDs, but nothing about intimacy or creating a loving, thriving sex life with your partner. So, of course, we don't know this stuff. The good news is you are here, you are learning, and this right here is going to change how you think about intimacy. It is called the dual control model of sexual response, and it's the reason that intention and romance alone aren't going to bring back your sex life. And without getting all into the weeds of it, here's what you need to know. We are focusing on the dual, and this means that there are things that turn humans on, the accelerators, and things that shut us down sexually. These are the brakes. So there are so many people in life who try to like spice up their sex lives, like, oh, we're going through a dry spell. Let's get lingerie. Let's light some candles. Let's try something new. And of course, these are great ideas. And it doesn't tend to bring back a steady, fulfilling sex life or really connected intimacy that lasts. That's because these people are only thinking about the accelerators. Now, the brakes, this is what tends to get ignored. And let's just talk about what some of the brakes are. They're different for everyone. When I'm working with couples and we start exploring sex and intimacy, one of the first things that we do is identify their individual brakes and their accelerators. Some examples of brakes might be it's too early in the morning. We haven't showered yet, or discomfort of being naked, performance anxiety, lack of sleep, pets in the bed. If this is a break for you or your wife, that means that that thing is shutting off desire, and we all have breaks. So just imagine that your wife has some of those breaks. Say it's the pets in the bed, too early in the morning, and lack of sleep. And you are interested in having sex early in the morning that day. Your dog is staring at you, and she didn't get to bed until really, really late last night, so she's going to be really tired. It does not matter how many accelerators that you start to throw at that situation. So maybe it's like a warm temperature, a nice cozy bed, a non-pressured approach. It's the weekend, so there's no work that day. If her foot is firmly on the brakes with those other factors that are happening, you know that it doesn't matter if you're in a car, it doesn't matter how much you are pumping the gas, that car is not moving if your foot is on the brake. What this means, yes, the accelerators are super important, and the brakes are actually more important. We need to address the brakes. When the foot gets lifted off the brakes, then the accelerators, they can actually do something. And if you're thinking, my wife's brakes are more than just a dog on the bed, I've so got you in just a second. So before that, there are a couple really quick things to note that are important about this. One person's brakes can be another person's accelerators, and that is not wrong. That is not bad. It just is. Bless us humans for all being different. So someone could be totally stressed out and sex is the last thing they want. It puts on the brakes, that stress, while their partner would love sex when they're stressed because it would feel calming and like a release. It could be an accelerator for them. There is no right answer when it comes to looking at brakes and accelerators. We get to bring in so much compassionate curiosity around this topic. And the other thing that I want to note is if you know that certain things are a break for your wife, sometimes that can feel like a dead end. The truth is, again, when we bring in compassionate curiosity and love and validation instead of just trying to change what she thinks or giving up, then possibilities can actually open up. So, of course, to lift the brakes, it is not always easy as, waiting for a good night's sleep or putting the dog in another room, which may not be that easy because it's hard to put your animals in other rooms. So if you have actually been in a place for years where sex is rare or it's never happening, or your wife just has little to no desire, we're probably talking about some deeper breaks here. So maybe things like feeling emotionally disconnected, that's a break. Not feeling appreciated, not feeling seen, feeling pressured is a break. Lingering arguments without repair, resentment, hurts. These are all possible breaks. Breaks that we really want to look at through loving eyes. So the truth is that you might also experience not feeling appreciated, not feeling respected, resentment, built up hurts that haven't had repair, but maybe they aren't sexual breaks for you. Maybe for you, it would actually meet some of those needs to have sex. You would feel more appreciated or more respected. It might mend some of those wounds over time. That is completely normal and makes all of the sense in the world, just like it would make so much sense if they are breaks for your wife. And I know that that might feel huge. Like, what can I possibly do if those are her breaks? I have so got you. So these deeper breaks, they are exactly why when I work with couples and individuals who want more sex and intimacy in their marriages, we don't actually start by digging into sex, intimacy, breaks, accelerators. We actually start with the relationship foundation. Because when you start tending to that relationship foundation and you both start feeling more connected, more seen, more appreciated, understood, respected, you're actually tending to the breaks without even knowing it. I have had women share that they feel so seen and so appreciated that now they find themselves desiring sex and intimacy with their partners again. It was never that they were intentionally holding it back as a punishment. They truly just didn't feel that desire. They didn't know about the breaks. But as safety and, connection and validation came back into their relationship, where they were really hearing each other, seeing each other, moving through tender topics with love and care and new tools and new ways of doing things, then things shifted without it being the goal. And if you're thinking about, I'm talking about working with couples, if your wife isn't interested in working on things right now, sex or otherwise, you alone can actually really start changing things by starting on that foundation. And you can comment roadmap below for my free love journey roadmap. It will take you through the 3 pillars of my love journey process and the exact areas that you alone can work on to bring in safety and connection. This is literally where to start. When I'm working with men who would love not only a great sex life, but also more connection, respect, appreciation, less tension, arguments, less stress, we start with building that foundation. Part of this is creating a new lens to see your wife and your relationship through, which the free roadmap, if you just comment roadmap, that will support you with that as well. So your intentional action for the week is to grab the roadmap or open it up if you've already grabbed it and dive in, because we all have areas that we can grow and we get to choose to keep growing. I could go on for another 20 minutes and go through this roadmap with you right here, but you can grab it alone and you can start. So you have so got this. Thank you so much for being here. And now that you know about the breaks, you can check out the video on the screen where I show you how to really build that foundation. I am taking you through the 4 steps. So I'm sending so much love into your day. Remember that nothing changes if nothing changes. So comment the roadmap and let's have a super intentional week.